Unit 4. Business operating costs. Each company bears business operating costs, for example for the purchase of equipment, materials, services, payrolls, etc. Below, the costs arising from legal obligations are presented. In terms of accounting, the following criteria apply to classify the costs. Material costs, raw materials, electricity, stationery and the like. Costs of services, production of products, transport, rent, advertising and the like. Depreciation, equipment, vehicles, facilities, etc. A company bears fixed and variable costs. The fixed ones, such as electricity, the internet, telecommunications, utilities, depreciation, licenses, subscriptions etc. remain permanent. The variable ones are changing proportionally to the volume of operations. These include direct or indirect costs associated with a product, such as the cost of raw materials. In Cyprus, there are no official procedures for setting up a sole trader. The legal entity has to abide by all the appropriate regulations and statutory requests like registering with the Inland Revenue Department, the social insurances and the VAT service. A sole trader should fill in the application for employee self-employed registration in the social insurance services. You can find the application here. Employees in the private sector are entitled to salaries, transport cost reimbursements and catering allowances during work. Once a year, they are entitled to a holiday allowance. Salary is agreed in the context of a contract of employment. In some industries, there are collective agreements ensuring a minimum level of workers' rights. Cyprus offers a well-educated and multilingual workforce at significantly lower costs compared to Western European countries. According to Eurostat figures for 2015, labor costs per hour in the business sector were estimated at €15.60, with the EU 28 average being €25. Social insurance and other contributions. Every employee in Cyprus is compulsorily insured under the social insurance scheme. The compulsory insurance falls into two categories: employees and self-employed. Employers, employees and self-employed persons are required to contribute to the following funds as portrayed in the table below. The contributions that the employer must pay in accordance with the law should be paid not later than the end of the calendar month following the month that the contributions relate to. The cost of accounting depends on the type of service, company size, number of employees, etc. There are plenty of providers available on the market, so it is important to opt for a service appropriate for their business. Large organizations usually operate their internal accounting department. For a small company, the expected price for a reliable accounting service is at €150 per month. Incorrect accounting may lead to poor business results or, worse, acting not fully legally, which in turn can have a negative effect on one's credit rating at one's bank and cause difficulties, for example, when applying for a loan. One may even pay a fine consequently. With accounting, the price should not be the essential criterion of choice of an accountant. Before registering a company, its business address and head office in Cyprus shall be decided. This can be done by renting an office or hiring a virtual one. Business premises costs vary depending on the type, quality and location, for example for an office of 80 square meters from €1,000 in the capital of Cyprus at the end of the first quarter of 2017. In the table below, you can find an example of the business operating costs for a company in Cyprus with employees. The figures below are based on ANSM Cyprus and may vary according to the size and activity of the company. In addition to a regular contract of employment, other forms of employment are possible, such as subcontracting, a copyright contract, a student service, internship or voluntary contract. Any entrepreneur should be aware of the benefits, limitations and obligations specific for each particular form. Please see more on different types of employment in Module 5.